What is going on, everyone? Friday afternoon, logging off here, and it's been a busy one this week. Busy in work, busy outside of work, and if you're anything like myself, it's these busy times that you find yourself procrastinating the most. Someone asked me a couple of weeks ago to talk about procrastination, so I thought I'd do that in this video. There's a few things which come to mind with this topic. What I actually think is more beneficial for you guys is to share my experiences of when I procrastinate and why I procrastinate. And I've been thinking hard about this over the last couple of days because I have been in a little bit of a slump when it comes to my productivity, I guess you could call it, over the last couple of weeks. And it's just because I have so many things going on. So in this video, I'm going to share how I've been dealing with things, how I've been trying to get over this little slump that I'm in. So hopefully you guys can take something away from that. So like I said, I have found myself procrastinating more than usual at the moment, particularly with one thing that I'm trying to learn, and that is learning to code. When you're starting to learn something, whether it's a skill or whether it's something creative like a YouTube channel, or maybe it's something entrepreneurial like a business, starting at the early stages is where there's most resistance. Resistance to doing the thing that you know you should be doing, but you're currently procrastinating on. And I'm currently finding that a lot with learning to code, mainly because I'm just so bad at it at the moment. However, over the last couple of days, I've found that I've been starting to understand things. Things have been beginning to click into place. And I found that that resistance has been decreasing. It's a lot easier now for me to go and sit at my desk. Now, that doesn't mean that coding is getting easier. If anything, the concepts are becoming more difficult. But that resistance to doing the thing is becoming less and less. And I think the lesson here is whenever you're starting something, particularly if it's new, particularly if it's challenging, that resistance will be the worst in the early stages. It's very difficult to get that ball moving, like learning a code, learning language, whatever it is you're procrastinating on currently. But once you get some momentum, it all of a sudden becomes less of a challenge to turn up. One thing I do a lot actually is focus on the steps before the thing that I'm doing. So with coding, for example, it's getting to my desk and sitting down and opening the code editor. With going for a run, it's putting on my running shoes. I don't focus on the run, I focus on getting to the place where the next step for me is doing the thing. Because the thing that I found after that point is it's often easier to then do the thing than it is to take off all my running gear or come back downstairs after going upstairs. You have to make it so that doing the next step is just easier than the reverse. This is something that James Clear talks about in his book Atomic Habits, which is a great read, by the way. If you haven't read Atomic Habits, highly recommend that book. He talks about how in order to avoid procrastinating on things such as learning the guitar, you need to set your environment up so that you are just naturally forced to play the guitar. And he talks about how putting the guitar in the living room or next to your bed, just anywhere where you know you're going to pick it up and play. So that's another good tip for you, is set your environment up to avoid procrastination. Putting away technology, putting it in a drawer, putting it in a far part away of the house. Anything so that you know you're not going to be distracted, particularly if you work a full-time job. After the end of the day, it's extremely easy to just go on our phones, scroll, watch Netflix, whatever. I really make the point to put away my phone if I'm trying to focus on something, because if you sat down doing it, you may as well be fully doing the thing. Another thing that I've seen work really well for people is just accountability. So making sure that you're accountable to something or someone. You want to do this thing and you know in your heart you want to do it, but don't have the willpower after a hard day's work. Then what I would suggest is make it accountable. Make yourself accountable in some way. Money is usually a good driver for people, or at least tell someone publicly, tell friends, tell people in work, whatever it is, so that the alternative of not doing that thing is more painful. Do you know what though? The funny thing about procrastination is that I actually think procrastination can be quite helpful. For me anyway, it can definitely highlight what I want to spend my time doing, what I'm enjoying doing, what I'm just naturally drawn to be doing. And it's really good for helping me prioritize what is actually important in my life at the moment anyway. Having said that, you do have to be quite careful with that logic, because sometimes we're just lazy and we just avoid avoiding doing the thing that we know we should actually be doing. The final thing I would just say to you is that, particularly if you're revising for exams or if you're trying to apply for a load of jobs, procrastinating in 2021 is very difficult not to. Like, there's so many distractions. Try and be a little bit kinder to yourself. If you do think that you're procrastinating, maybe use it as a chance to evaluate what is actually important to you and what do you want to spend your time doing. Maybe you're being lazy, but maybe it's just a sign that you want to do other things. Thanks very much for watching, take care, and I'll see you soon.